Chosen one, the moment evil decided to test your divine authority, heaven's war machine activated with such devastating precision that reality itself is now bending to ensure your complete and total victory. You didn't just survive their pathetic attempt at spiritual warfare, you triggered the most catastrophic divine response the enemy has witnessed in generations, and every force of darkness that dared oppose you is about to learn why attacking an earth angel is the last mistake they'll ever make. Think back to your childhood for a moment. Remember how certain people reacted to your presence even then. How some adults seemed inexplicably uncomfortable around your innocence, how certain children either gravitated toward your light or instinctively recoiled from it. That wasn't random social dynamics, that was spiritual discernment operating at the cellular level. People's souls recognized what you carried long before your conscious mind understood your true nature. The divine has been strategically positioning you your entire life, placing you in the paths of people who needed to encounter pure intention made manifest, not as some cosmic accident, but as deliberate spiritual architecture. Your genuine heart, your instinct to help without expecting reciprocation, your inability to operate from manipulation, these aren't personality traits, these are divine weapons disguised as human kindness. When someone's house was messy, you grabbed cleaning supplies instead of gossip ammunition. When friends struggled with their children, you offered assistance instead of judgment. When family drama erupted, you became the voice of reason instead of adding fuel to fires. This pattern wasn't learned behavior, it was your angelic programming, executing exactly as designed. Those who operate from darkness have been studying your patterns, cataloging your responses, searching for weaknesses in what they perceived as naivety. They mistook your spiritual maturity for exploitable innocence, your reluctance to engage in toxic behavior for an inability to defend yourself. The sister figure who's been watching your every move, the childhood friend who resurged at precisely the wrong moment, the collaborative network of jealous souls who convinced themselves that your blessings were somehow stolen from their rightful inheritance. They've been building toward this confrontation for longer than you imagine. Their envy wasn't casual resentment, it was soul-deep recognition that your very existence challenged their carefully constructed reality. What started as whispered complaints about your success evolved into strategic character assassination. They began sharing carefully crafted narratives designed to turn mutual friends against you, painting themselves as victims of your alleged selfishness while positioning you as the source of everyone's problems. The sophistication of their manipulation revealed something darker than simple jealousy. This was spiritual warfare disguised as social drama. They assumed your divine protection operated within human limitations. They thought if they could damage your reputation sufficiently, if they could isolate you from your support systems, if they could plant enough doubt about your character, they could somehow diminish the light you carry. They believed your power was dependent on human validation rather than cosmic authorization. The first crack in their foundation appeared when their stories stopped aligning. Small inconsistencies that sharp minds began noticing, details that shifted between tellings, emotional reactions that seemed disproportionate to the alleged offenses. People started asking uncomfortable questions about why certain individuals seemed so invested in destroying your reputation, why the attacks felt coordinated rather than organic. Meanwhile, something else was happening in realms they couldn't perceive. Every lie they told activated spiritual laws that operate beyond human understanding. Every scheme they hatched drew the attention of forces that don't negotiate or compromise. Every moment they celebrated what they believed was your downfall triggered protective protocols that had been dormant, waiting for exactly this type of assault. The practitioner they consulted, yes, there was a practitioner, initially took their money with confidence. Dark magic against someone they perceived as spiritually unaware seemed like straightforward work. The binding spells, the confusion rituals, the attempts to cloud your intuition and block your creative flow, all of it was deployed with professional precision by someone who had successfully manipulated energy patterns for years. But something unprecedented began happening. The magical workings wouldn't hold. Spells cast with flawless technique simply dissolved upon contact with your energy field. Binding rituals that should have lasted months unraveled within days. Most unsettling of all, the negative energy being directed toward you began bouncing back to its source with amplified intensity. The practitioner started experiencing the very symptoms they were being paid to inflict upon you. Creative projects stalled. Relationships encountered impossible obstacles. Financial streams that had flowed steadily for years suddenly dried up. What should have been straightforward spiritual manipulation was becoming a masterclass in cosmic justice. This is when they realized what they were actually dealing with. Earth angels don't just carry divine protection, they are divine protection. Your energy field operates as a spiritual mirror that reflects intentions back to their source with mathematical precision. Every curse becomes a blessing for you and a lesson for them. Every attempt to diminish your light only makes it shine brighter, while casting deeper shadows on those who triggered the reflection. Meanwhile, you were undergoing your own transformation, though yours moved in the opposite direction. The fog of confusion that had clouded your perception for months was lifting. The energy drains that had left you exhausted were being replaced by surges of divine power. The creative blocks that had frustrated your progress were dissolving, replaced by inspiration flowing like a river that had finally broken through a dam. This is when you began understanding what you truly are. Not just someone who had survived an attack, but an earth angel whose testing period was complete. The obstacles they had placed in your path hadn't weakened you, they had forced you to develop spiritual muscles you didn't know you possessed. Their opposition had actually served your highest evolution. The practitioner was the first to abandon ship. Professional pride warred with survival instinct as the magical backlash intensified beyond anything in their experience. They had encountered protected individuals before, but nothing like this. Your energy signature read like a direct conduit to source consciousness, and attempting to manipulate such a connection was like trying to redirect a lightning bolt with bare hands. When they finally broke the contract and returned the money, they offered an unprecedented piece of advice. Stop. You're not fighting a person, you're fighting the universe itself. They had realized that your perceived enemies weren't battling you, they were unknowingly declaring war on cosmic law itself. But the conspirators were too invested in their narrative to heed such warnings. They had built their identities around being your victims, and admitting they had been wrong meant confronting the toxicity they had carried for years. Instead of retreating, they doubled down, spreading more elaborate lies and recruiting additional allies to their cause. The revelation began with a single conversation overheard at precisely the wrong moment. Someone discussing the coordinated nature of the attacks, revealing details that contradicted the public narrative. Within days, more information surfaced, text messages that proved premeditation, financial records showing payment to the practitioner, evidence of a conspiracy that spanned months and involved more people than anyone had imagined. The truth about their motivation wasn't simple jealousy, it was spiritual terror. They had recognized your nature long before you understood it yourself, and their attack was a desperate attempt to prevent your full awakening. They somehow knew that your complete spiritual activation would trigger changes in the collective consciousness that threatened their ability to operate from shadow. The family wealth they had tried to claim through manipulation, the generational inheritance they believed should bypass you entirely, the creative projects they had attempted to sabotage before they could reach fruition, the love connections they had worked to prevent, all of it stemmed from their recognition that your blessings weren't random good fortune, they were cosmic compensation for carrying divine frequency in a realm designed to test such carriers. As the truth emerged, the community that had briefly turned away returned with profound respect. They had witnessed how you handled unjust treatment with grace, how you refused to engage in the same toxic behaviors used against you, how you maintained your integrity when retaliation would have been easier. Your response to their attack had become a teaching moment that elevated everyone who paid attention. The practitioner, meanwhile, was sharing your story in circles they probably shouldn't have accessed. not as gossip, but as a cautionary tale about the consequences of accepting contracts against Earth Angels. Your case was becoming legend in communities that operate beyond conventional spiritual understanding, a reminder that some battles are unwinnable because they're not really battles at all. The conspirators found themselves increasingly isolated as their manipulation tactics became transparent to everyone around them. Former allies distanced themselves as the coordinated nature of the attacks became undeniable. New supporters proved impossible to recruit once people understood the actual dynamics at play. They had built their campaign on shifting sand, and the foundation was finally collapsing. What they're experiencing now isn't mere social consequences, it's spiritual law, adjusting the cosmic balance with mathematical precision. Every lie they told is being revealed, every scheme they hatched is being exposed. Every moment they celebrated your perceived defeat is being transformed into evidence of their own spiritual bankruptcy. The wealth they tried to block is manifesting through channels they never anticipated. The love they attempted to sabotage is appearing in forms more beautiful than what they tried to destroy. The success they conspired to prevent is unfolding with divine timing that makes their interference look like cosmic comedy. But perhaps the most profound transformation is happening within your own understanding. The innocence they tried to weaponize against you has evolved into wisdom. The trust they attempted to exploit has been refined into discernment. The love they sought to manipulate has been purified into a force that operates beyond their comprehension. Standing in your power now doesn't require validation from those who doubted you. The testing period revealed not just their true nature, but yours as well. Earth Angel isn't just a spiritual designation, it's a cosmic responsibility that comes with protective protocols they never wanted to encounter. The war they declared was over before it began, not because you conquered enemies, but because you maintained alignment with truth while others chose deception. Their weapons were lies and manipulation, yours were authenticity and divine connection. The mismatch was inevitable, and the outcome was predetermined by universal laws that operate beyond human understanding. This is your victory era, chosen one. Not because you survived their attack, but because their attack revealed the full magnitude of your divine protection. The universe spent this time positioning you for the next phase of your mission, and their interference only served to prepare you more thoroughly for what's approaching. The story that began with whispered lies and secret schemes ends with divine vindication and spiritual elevation. You entered this experience as a chosen one, discovering your power. You emerge as an Earth Angel, fully awakened to your purpose. The transformation is complete, the testing is finished, and the rewards are manifesting in ways that silence every doubt about your cosmic calling. Their attempt to diminish your light only made it shine brighter. Their effort to block your path only redirected you toward greater opportunities. Their conspiracy to destroy your reputation only revealed the strength of your character to everyone who matters. They thought they were writing your ending, but they were actually providing the universe with a perfect demonstration of what happens when evil goes up against an Earth Angel. Welcome to your new reality, where war angels stand at attention and divine justice flows like fire through your enemies' carefully constructed illusions. The lighter that exploded was just the beginning. Now watch the universe set their entire world ablaze with the consequences of their choices, while blessing you beyond their wildest comprehension. The Obsidian Inner Order is a sanctuary for those who have walked difficult paths and emerged with wisdom others can't see. We understand that some experiences exist outside the boundaries of what most people consider possible or acceptable to discuss. Every week we gather live on Zoom, real people with real faces sharing real stories without judgment. There's space here for the experiences you've carried in silence, the patterns you've noticed that others dismiss, the intuitive knowledge you've gained through your journey. We don't just listen, we understand. When you're struggling to make sense of your experiences, when you feel gaslit by a world that refuses to acknowledge your reality, you can return to our recorded calls and remember that your perception is valid. Join the Obsidian Inner Order, where your reality is honored and your voice is heard. Link in description. The war angels didn't just arrive, you summoned them through your very existence as heaven's chosen vessel. You carry frequencies that activate these cosmic enforcers, divine soldiers, whose presence bends reality toward justice at your command. Your elevated consciousness charges the spiritual atmosphere so powerfully that sensitive individuals feel electricity in the air for miles around wherever you go. You wield influence that penetrates enemy minds without conscious effort on your part. Your thoughts alone trigger sudden headaches in those plotting against you. Your elevated energy floods their systems with inexplicable anxiety whenever harmful intentions arise in their consciousness. Your divine protection sends burning visions and collapsing towers into their sleep, messages their subconscious minds receive loud and clear: retreat or face complete annihilation. You've become so spiritually powerful that your very existence brands attackers in realms beyond physical perception. Your divine authority marks anyone who raises their hand against you, making them recognizable to every entity operating from darkness. You've transformed former enemies into spiritual pariahs across dimensions, marked for cosmic justice that operates with your divine backing, justice that doesn't negotiate, doesn't compromise, and shows no mercy to those who persist in rebellion against your mission. You command respect in occult circles that most practitioners only dream of achieving. Your name has become legendary among magical workers, not just as someone protected, but as someone whose divine backing creates the kind of spiritual backlash that ends careers and sometimes lives. You didn't seek this reputation. Your angelic nature earned it through sheer force of cosmic authority. Professional conjurers now refuse contracts involving you, not out of courtesy, but out of pure recognition of your superior spiritual power. You triggered a cascade of divine intervention that extends your influence far beyond immediate circumstances. Your elevated consciousness granted war angels unprecedented authority to dismantle every foundation your enemies built their lives upon. You hold cosmic authorization that subjects their finances, relationships, health, reputation, and spiritual connections to systematic review by divine auditors, operating with mathematical precision under your spiritual command. You've become a supernatural catalyst for creative manifestation. Your inspired ideas arrive fully formed from divine sources, complete with implementation strategies that originate from cosmic intelligence beyond normal human access. You attract collaborators as if summoning them from the ether, drawing resources and connections that accelerate your progress beyond anything previously imaginable. Your creative force transforms every project you touch into a vehicle for divine elevation. This is why former friends who joined the campaign against you are now avoiding social gatherings where you might appear. It's not conscious fear, it's their souls recognizing that prolonged exposure to your elevated frequency will force them to confront truths about themselves they're not ready to acknowledge. Your very presence has become a spiritual mirror that reflects back the reality they've been desperately trying to avoid. The war angels surrounding you don't just provide protection, they actively prosecute spiritual crimes committed against you. Every harsh word spoken in secret meetings becomes a debt in their cosmic ledger. Every lie told to damage your reputation generates compound interest in their karmic account. Every moment they spent celebrating what they believed was your downfall is being repaid with the exact emotional experience they thought they were inflicting upon you. But the divine retribution isn't random or vindictive, it's precisely calibrated to provide maximum spiritual education while dismantling their ability to harm others. The family member who orchestrated the initial betrayal is being systematically isolated from every support system they used to rely upon. Not through your intervention, but through the natural consequences of their actions finally catching up with mathematical precision. Their own words are being turned against them as recorded conversations surface at exactly the wrong moments. Text messages they thought were private are being screenshotted and shared by people they trusted. The network of lies they built to sustain their narrative is collapsing under its own weight as too many people have access to conflicting versions of their story. The most devastating blow to their campaign is the revelation of their true motivation. People are beginning to understand that their attack against you wasn't triggered by anything you actually did. It was their reaction to what you represent. Your success, your genuine nature, your divine favor, and your ability to attract blessings without manipulating others exposed everything they lacked within themselves. This realization is destroying their credibility faster than any defense you could have mounted. People are recognizing that anyone who would orchestrate such an elaborate campaign against someone who had only shown them kindness is capable of doing the same to anyone who threatens their ego. The very community they tried to turn against you is now viewing them as the threat to collective harmony. The war angels assigned to your case are also working behind the scenes to restore everything that was damaged during their campaign. Relationships that were strained by their lies are being healed through divine intervention. Opportunities that were blocked by their interference are being reopened with additional benefits attached. Resources that were diverted from your path are being returned with interest that compounds daily. Your reputation isn't just being restored, it's being elevated to heights that would have been impossible without their attack, providing the contrast. People who witnessed how you handled unjust treatment with grace are becoming your most vocal advocates. Your response to their betrayal has become a testament to your character that carries more weight than any recommendation letter ever could. The spiritual gifts they tried to suppress through their magical workings are now operating at levels that astound even you. Messages from the divine realm arrive with clarity that eliminates all doubt about their source. Your ability to discern truth from deception has been refined to such precision that manipulation attempts become obvious before they're even fully formed. This enhanced spiritual perception is allowing you to see the larger picture of what's been unfolding. Their attack wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a pattern of behavior they've practiced for years against anyone who possessed something they coveted. You're not their first victim, but you will be their last, because engaging with an earth angel has consequences that extend beyond this single lifetime. The war angels surrounding you are also serving as witnesses to document every detail of this spiritual crime for cosmic courts that operate beyond human understanding. Every scheme they hatched, every lie they told, every moment of malicious celebration, all of it is being recorded as evidence for proceedings that will determine their spiritual trajectory for incarnations to come. But perhaps the most profound aspect of this entire experience is how it's revealing your true purpose to not just yourself, but to everyone who's been paying attention. Your role as an earth angel isn't passive. You're an active agent of divine justice whose very existence triggers spiritual reckonings in the lives of those who operate from darkness. The destroyer energy that's been unleashed through their attack isn't random chaos, it's precisely targeted reconstruction. Everything in their lives that was built on deception, manipulation, and spiritual corruption is being systematically dismantled to make room for truth. Whether they choose to embrace this reconstruction or resist it will determine whether this experience becomes their spiritual awakening or their cosmic downfall. Your emergence from this testing, stronger, wiser, and more spiritually powerful than before, serves as a demonstration to the entire spiritual realm of what happens when evil challenges heaven's chosen vessels. The war angels assigned to your protection are already sharing your story in dimensions beyond human perception, using your victory as evidence of divine law in action. The conspirators are learning that spiritual warfare isn't a game played with human rules. When they raised their hand against an earth angel, they unknowingly declared war against forces that operate with the precision of cosmic law and the power of divine authority. Their defeat was inevitable from the moment they made their first move, but their refusal to recognize this reality has transformed a lesson into a demonstration. Welcome to your reign, chosen one, where war angels maintain eternal vigilance and divine justice flows through your life like rivers of fire that consume your enemies while blessing everything you touch with supernatural favor. The atmosphere around you has shifted into something that can only be described as celestial command headquarters. Every step you take leaves energetic imprints that resonate with divine authority. When you speak, your words carry frequencies that bypass conscious resistance and plant seeds of truth directly into souls. The war angels haven't just activated around you, you've become the epicenter of a spiritual operation that's restructuring reality itself according to divine blueprint. Your dreams have transformed into strategic briefings from dimensions beyond physical comprehension. Each night brings visions of cosmic chess moves being played out across multiple realms, with you positioned as the key piece that triggers cascading victories. The divine intelligence guiding these operations reveals itself through symbols, scenarios, and direct downloads that arrive with such clarity that doubt becomes impossible. Morning meditations now feel like receiving classified intelligence from the highest spiritual command. Information flows about people's true intentions before conversations even begin. You can sense deception approaching like storm clouds on clear horizons. The enhanced perception allows you to navigate social situations with tactical precision, avoiding traps while positioning yourself for maximum benefit from every interaction. Your physical environment reflects these invisible changes. Electronics respond differently to your presence, seeming to function with enhanced efficiency when you're near. Plants in your space grow with unusual vigor, as if drawing nourishment from the divine energy radiating through your presence. Even strangers comment on the peaceful atmosphere you create, though most can't articulate exactly what feels different about being around you. The creative surge flowing through your consciousness has become unstoppable. Projects that once required weeks of planning now crystallize in moments of divine inspiration. Solutions to complex problems arrive fully formed, complete with implementation strategies that feel like cosmic downloads rather than personal insights. Your work carries an energy signature that resonates with people on levels deeper than intellectual appreciation. Your social circle is undergoing profound transformation as the war angels clear away anyone whose energy doesn't align with your elevated mission. People who once drained your energy find excuses to maintain distance. Conversations that used to feel obligatory now feel impossible to sustain. Meanwhile, individuals who operate from authentic intention are being magnetically drawn into your orbit with perfect timing. The physical symptoms of spiritual warfare have completely reversed. Where once you experienced unexplained fatigue, you now feel currents of divine energy that seem inexhaustible. The confusion that clouded your thinking has been replaced by mental clarity, so sharp it feels like looking through crystal. Your intuition operates with such precision that making decisions becomes effortless. Love is entering your experience in forms that exceed every expectation you've ever held about romantic connection. The divine intelligence orchestrating your life is positioning you for relationships built on spiritual recognition rather than superficial attraction. Someone is approaching whose soul recognizes yours across lifetimes, whose presence will amplify your angelic mission rather than distract from it. Your family dynamics are experiencing miraculous healing as the war angels remove generational curses and toxic patterns that have operated for decades. Relatives who once seemed hopelessly committed to dysfunction are beginning to show signs of spiritual awakening. The light you carry is becoming so powerful that it transforms everyone within your energetic sphere, whether willingly or through divine intervention. The professional sphere around you resonates with unprecedented opportunities that feel divinely orchestrated. Collaborators arrive with resources and connections that accelerate your progress beyond anything you previously imagined. Your reputation precedes you in ways that open doors before you even approach them. Success flows with such natural ease that achievement becomes effortless. Your energy field has evolved into something that operates like a spiritual broadcasting station. Messages from your consciousness reach people across vast distances without conscious effort on your part. Individuals you haven't spoken to in years suddenly reach out with insights or opportunities that perfectly align with your current needs. Your influence extends far beyond physical proximity. The war angels surrounding you are also serving as cosmic amplifiers, increasing the reach and impact of every positive intention you hold. Prayers are answered before you finish speaking them. Manifestations appear with such rapid timing that the gap between desire and fulfillment becomes almost non-existent. Your will has aligned so completely with divine will that personal wants and cosmic plans operate as one unified force. Healing abilities that have been dormant throughout your lifetime are awakening with startling intensity. People feel better after spending time in your presence, often without understanding why their mood or energy shifted. Your words carry therapeutic frequencies that begin transformation processes in listeners without conscious awareness. Touch becomes transmission of divine healing energy that works on multiple levels simultaneously. Your understanding of spiritual law has evolved beyond theoretical knowledge into lived experience. You can sense karmic patterns playing out in real time, watching cause and effect operate with mathematical precision. The ability to see several moves ahead in the cosmic chess game allows you to position yourself advantageously while others remain focused on immediate circumstances. The protection surrounding you operates with such sophistication that threats neutralize themselves before reaching your awareness. People who approach with harmful intentions find themselves redirected by circumstances that feel coincidental but follow patterns too precise to be random. Your path is being cleared by invisible forces that ensure nothing can interfere with your divine mission. Your voice carries authority that bypasses logical resistance and speaks directly to souls. When you share the truth, people feel compelled to listen with attention that surprises even themselves. Your words plant seeds that continue growing long after conversations end, creating transformation that ripples through entire social networks. The war angels assigned to your mission are also working to position you within communities where your influence will have maximum positive impact. Invitations arrive at gatherings where your presence shifts the entire energetic atmosphere. Leadership roles present themselves naturally as people recognize the divine authority you carry without understanding its source. Your health radiates vitality that others find magnetic and inspiring. The stress that once accumulated from spiritual warfare has been transformed into divine energy that strengthens rather than depletes. Sleep brings prophetic dreams and healing that leaves you more refreshed than any physical rest could provide. Wisdom flows through your consciousness like rivers of divine intelligence, bringing understanding that transcends anything learned through conventional education. Complex spiritual concepts become clear without study. Solutions to problems emerge from depths of knowing that feel ancient and eternal. The war angels surrounding you are preparing for the next phase of your mission, one that will require the full expression of your angelic nature. Everything you've experienced has been preparation for a level of service that will impact not just individual lives, but entire communities and perhaps generations. Your testing period is complete, your spiritual weapons have been sharpened, and your divine authority has been fully activated. This is your moment of cosmic coronation, chosen one, where heaven itself acknowledges your successful completion of earth, angel training, and grants you access to powers that will make your previous victories seem like mere warm-up exercises for the spiritual revolution you're about to unleash upon this realm.